Hey there, good morning. You were just mentioning how I went to Chippewa Valley High School, and I'll be hanging out with some of the alumni at that event coming up later on this week. Well, this morning I get to hang out with a Northville High School student. This is Tayo. He's an intern here at the farm, and check out what is in his bucket. It's clear, might look like water, but it's not. This is sap from a maple tree. I had no idea it was this clear until today. And Tayo is about to pour this sap into this contraption that his teacher and mentor is going to tell us a little bit more about. We are in the process of making maple syrup, and this is a very important step. Scott, how's your student Tayo doing here?
He's doing really well. He's been out here a lot and seems to really be enjoying himself.
Now, this filter right here, it's kind of like a thicker version of a coffee filter. It helps strain out bugs or things like that because the sap did just come from a tree. And this is really your big job is collecting sap, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Well, good job. You collected a lot of it today. So what is he doing now?
So right now he's adding to the evaporator. The evaporator has 3 different raceways to it, and density pushes that sap through so that in our first raceway, the sap is really clear. It looks pretty much like it does when Tayo's putting it in there, like water. Our second raceway is going to start having just a little bit of color to it. And then by the time we get down to our third raceway, we start to see the color of maple syrup. And now we can't quite finish on this evaporator. This is a hobby evaporator. It would take us about 10 hours to make a gallon of syrup on this evaporator.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a real time-intensive process.
But we do have the next step ready here. You got a bucket
Right
here with another filter because there are several filtering processes. So let's get this going here.
Tayo, you can turn that on and add a little bit more. And so we see the color coming out. Now, what we're going to be filtering out right now is called sugar sand. As we condense that sap thicker and thicker, there are tiny little particles of silicate in the sap, and that'll start to precipitate out at this stage. And so we don't want grit on our pancakes.
No grit on our pancakes.
We want our pancakes to be.
We want the high quality syrup that I know that you've been making now for over a decade, and you're teaching me to make this morning. We're going to finish up making this syrup in the next half an hour, but before we do that, I want to make sure you know how you can be a part of this, how you can visit the Sugar Shack. That's what this is called, the Sugar Shack. See some of this process. They're doing maple syrup tours throughout the month of March. It's happening on the weekend. $7 to come. You get to get a ride through their is it an orchard or
Sugar bush?
Through the sugar bush and see about 80 trees that all have been tapped where the sap is flowing. You get to get a peek at the Sugar Shack and even buy some maple syrup already made and see their farm, a really cool experience. And this is going to be a fantastic week to see all that maple syrup flowing and as that warmer weather comes along. So you guys check it out for yourself and definitely stay tuned for the next half an hour because we're going to finish up this syrup and give it a taste.
You know, it's kind of like she's getting a sugar facial there with all of the steam coming out.
I am. It's like a spa.
It's a great place to be.